Hi, and welcome back to Once Upon a Tiny Farm. My name's Drew. In today's video, I'm going to talk about something a little bit different, and that is keeping a journal of your garden and planning for your garden. So in this video, I just want to share how these little notebooks that fit in your pocket could save you from a lot of stress and frustration in your garden and for your farm or whatever level of gardening you're doing. This has been a game changer for me, and I want to share some things that I've found beneficial and how I use these. So let's get into the video. All right, so here, these three black notebooks here are all called Molin Notebooks, and this is actually the first one that I got 2 years ago. So this is called a Molin notebook. This is the first one that I got. I used this in 2022, and it's pretty cool. There's some things in the beginning of it that I don't use. You get some nice monthly spreads like this that I don't typically use. It's got these little bookmarks in here. Pretty handy. And this is the first year that I really started journaling what I was doing and keeping records. So see, I just write down simple things. These are weekly spreads, by the way, and I really like this. So on the left sides you have the date, and you have a space to write different things that you plant. These aren't specifically gardening journals, but that's what I use them as. I don't do any personal journaling in these, but I'll get to that in a second. But then on the other side of the page you have just lined ruled pages for writing any longer term notes. So the way that I like to do it is use the left side of the page for writing either a plan, like today I want to plant start lettuce on this day, and that'll go on this side, short and sweet because you don't have as much space. And then over here, some longer term notes, like here I wrote some seed starting mix, the figuring out how much like trays I could fill with my own seed starting mix that I made, things like that. It's just good to have records of when I started certain things. I really liked doing that. And then I can go back now in previous years and see when I planted things and what went right and what went wrong. And this is just a great way to learn and just keep. It's really nice to keep records. So this is July here. This is the year. This is 2 years ago, 2022. See, I made like a little to-do list here. On the right side of the page. This year, it said first frost was October 9th for us. So there's my record for 2022. Now you can see this is actually a very large size notebook, and what I realized is that they make smaller sizes that actually fit in your pocket. I think they're like 3.5 by wide by like 5 inches tall. These fit in your like jean pocket or your back pocket. So I actually got, this one actually has a hardcover, and the one that I actually got this one for this coming season, it's a soft cover, so it might fit in your pocket a little bit more comfortably than this, but same size, very cool. So here is what I also like about these. They have a back pouch, and in this back pouch, this was for this past year for my market garden. I made a plan using grid paper, and I just keep it in my pocket, and I keep it inside the pouch of this journal. So I divided my field into field plots. Plot 1, plot 2, plot 3, plot 4. And you can see the months here. So I planned this out. This took me weeks last year over winter. I really planned out. So the way that I have this work is each grid space is a row going down. So looks like I might have had 15 rows. So I had 15 spaces, and see, stands for mesclun mix, my salad mix basically. So I plan to have that direct seeded March 28th and have it in the ground until May 5th. And then after that was done, we have carrots supposed to go in right in the same row right after that and stay in the ground until the beginning of August, August 4th. And then after that, I have 4 rows of salad mix here. And then after that, another row of salad mix. So I planned out each succession for each plot. This was very, very elaborative thing that I did. It took me a really long time, gave me a lot of headaches, but it worked, and it made things a lot simpler for me. There might be a better way to do this. In fact, there is a better way to do this now, because there's an app called Seed Time, which I'm going to tell you about right now. So basically what I did here is I planned out 4 plots of my farm. I have every row that I have on my tiny farm planned out, each succession. So once I had this figured out, and you want to do this in pencil because you do a lot of erasing. This is actually, I had done it on a first piece of graph paper, and I did so much erasing and messing up that this is actually just the final copy that I wrote real nice, so it's easy for me to read. So once I had this planned out, I went back in this journal. So like I said, plot 1, see it says mesclun mix number 1, 328. So I told myself I use this as a way to have a plan. So every day I can open up my journal and see, oh, I have to direct seed salad mix 2 rows. So that's how I use this. I made the plan for my farm on graph paper, and then I went back and wrote down every single thing I needed to plant in this journal. It took a really, really long time, and luckily there's an app now called Seed Time that will let you do this in a really, really short amount of time, and it'll even plan out your, instead of using graph paper, you could also use that app and design your farm and each row. So this is one way to do it. Some people like to write things out. I'm like that. So this was literally my plan for my farm this year, and to be honest, this wasn't the way that it all turned out, because this was, each of my rows is 25 feet long, and this was a lot of rows for me to manage. This is the most that I've ever tried to manage, and it became a little bit much for me. So a lot of my plans didn't turn out the way I wanted. I didn't grow as many of these, plant as many of these rows as I planned, but this served as a really great general plan for me to stick to and make sure that I was on top of all of my succession plans, so that I had something for each week at the farmer's market. So this was very, very helpful. It took a really, really long time, but having a plan to stick to and having basically prompts to use every single day each week, it made my life so much easier. Knowing that I needed to direct seed beets this day, I could look, the week before and actually prep that bed a few days before that I needed to do those beets and stuff like that. It just makes you, a lot more productive. I tried some different experiments. Like early in August, I tried some radishes, a variety called Sora, supposed to be more heat tolerant, and they actually turned out really, really well. I got the earliest radishes that I ever got for the fall. Typically we plant radishes in the spring, but then when it gets really hot, it's really hard to grow radishes properly. But we had some cooler weeks there early in August, and I just wanted to try planting radishes, and it turned out working out for me. So now this plan I just showed you was a bit technical, kind of complicated to look at, read, even for myself to just look at this and kind of dissect it. But it took a lot of time. But once I wrote everything down in this little journal, things went a lot smoother for me. And I plan to use a lot of these dates again in the following year, so I could go back to this and reference it. But to do something a little bit more simpler and easy for you, I'd recommend looking at this app called SeedTime. Now, I'm trying to get away from using like electronics and things like that for everything. What I really like about journaling is just the act of writing the stuff down on paper. There's something that happens with your brain when you're actually putting pen to paper and writing your thoughts down that, like, I don't know, thoughts seem to come out more crisp and thorough, and you remember things a little bit easier. At least that's in my experience. But SeedTime is cool because it allows you to basically pick the crop that you want to grow and put it in, and it has some kind of like algorithm or something figured out for whatever season. If you're putting it in summer, spring, fall, it'll determine when you want to plant it, and it'll tell you how long to expect it to be in the ground, when to expect to harvest, and when the crop is done. And then you could plan for more things after that. And the computer basically calculates everything really quickly, like right away for you. So you could pick out everything that you want to grow, put it in one at a time on SeedTime, and have it planned out in minutes, basically. And then all you got to do is make sure you have enough space to grow everything, because it'll make it really, really simple to plan your garden. And it's very, very clever. And it's free. So that's kind of cool too. You can pay to upgrade your SeedTime account if you want. In the future, they have some cooler features. If you upgrade, like being able to design your garden beds exactly how your garden is set up, like do a layout, like I just did, very complicated way on graph paper, you could do that on SeedTime. And if you want to try out SeedTime, I have an affiliate link in the details below this video. And if you click that link, I believe you also get a $5 credit for seeds, because SeedTime also sells seeds in their store. So that's kind of neat, and it'd be a way to benefit our channel in one small way. So if that's something you're interested in for next year, definitely check out SeedTime, because I used it and I planned out my market garden for next year in like less than 30 minutes. And I just showed you what I did the previous 2 years, and that's just a game changer for time. For time's sake, you won't waste so much time and give yourself as many headaches doing that. So definitely check out SeedTime and use my link if you do. Appreciate it. So anyway, through the process of journaling for my garden, I found out that I really, really enjoyed the process of writing on paper and not using this phone so much for taking notes, which is what I have been doing for the past several years. I have so many basically digital tabs of notes in here that they just get lost in the cloud. And I mean, there is a way to organize all of it, but at the end of the day, it's hard to find your own ideas on here. But I found a better way for organizing my thoughts after journaling for the farm is getting a notebook like this. This is considered a traveler's notebook. It's actually about the same size width and height-wise as this Moleskine notebook, and I'll put links to these notebooks down below, Amazon affiliate links, if you want to check them out. But the way that this notebook system works is you have a leather cover, and then you have books. Basically, so basically the way this works is there are these little bands in here that hold in these little notebooks, and you could customize this however you want. So the way that I did it is I ordered a bunch of these lined inserts, and you can see there's this band right in the middle of it, just holding it in. And you could put it well, not as many, but you could probably fit like 5 or 6 of these kind of notebooks in here. And I use these as tabs. So like I have one for ideas for my YouTube channel, and I put all these things of different things that I'm working on for my YouTube channel. I have a book for that. I have a book for my little 400 square foot garden that I did a lot of videos on. And I have little garden plans in here for next year. I'm going to be talking about this soon and releasing them to my email list. So if you're not on our email list, sign up for our email list below, because I'm going to give you multiple different plans that I'm planning for my 400 square foot garden. I'm going to be doing multiple variations of a 400 square foot garden to give people different ideas of different ways that you could grow different kinds of food, lots of different kind of food on a very, very small square footage. So that's what I'm doing anyway in this one. And yeah, basically I have another one for a different garden plan that I'm not sure what I'm calling it yet. I think I wrote the ultimate homestead garden. And in this garden, I'm planning to basically grow a lot of crops for our family, like storage crops. Like I want to try to grow enough beans, like dried beans, that we could store for like a year for our family. So I'm planning to do 3 50-foot rows of different dried beans, and I never tried that before, but I'm going to try to grow a lot of beans. I'm going to grow a lot of squash in this area. I'm going to do some more of the Three Sisters planting, where I'm going to have corn, a pole bean, and either a squash or a zucchini along the inside to basically be a ground cover and prevent weeds. So I'm going to do stuff like that in that garden. I actually already planted garlic in that garden. Probably do a separate video talking about the ultimate homestead garden, because I'm excited about that too. But this journal is a way to organize. You could see a look at all the different notebooks in there. I really like having this physical book with all these physical tabs instead of using the notes on my phone, because I own this. You know, Apple probably owns all the data on your phone. I'm sure they do. I own this. I'm not going to lose this in an accident well, maybe if I drop it in a shredder or something by accident, but if I drop my phone in a bunch of water, won't lose everything, and I really like having this. So I have this for more gardening stuff, still more personal gardening stuff. I'm using the small notebook for my market garden, and I got a smaller traveler's notebook. I have a problem with notebooks, and this is just for journaling my personal thoughts. So I find it to be very, very therapeutic to write in a journal. So this is basically a smaller version of that larger traveler's notebook. And in this one, I just have, didn't even start this because I just got it for, starts in January of next year. But it's basically just a monthly, so I could write different things about what happened in each day, so I don't forget things. I could maybe look back when I'm older. You know, today I took the kids to the park, we did this, we did that. Wasn't feeling good this day. Here's what we had for dinner. I'm trying to track more of that stuff for health reasons. I get a lot of headaches. I've always gotten migraines and stuff like that, and I could track my food habits, my sleeping habits, things like that in a little journal like this. And also, this is something that I'm starting to take with me whenever I go somewhere, because besides the monthly, daily journalings, I also have a blank book in here that if I just have a random thought, I can just write it down before I forget, and then basically I'll transfer that thought. If it's about like one of my gardens or my YouTube or whatever, I'll transfer it to my large journal where all my big thoughts are, or big ideas. But this is just a way, like a catch-all. So that's going to wrap up this video, guys. Not the most exciting video, I know, but journaling, I love it. It's a new thing of mine. I really like. Along with reading, I'm trying to always be reading a new book. I'm focusing a lot on personal growth, learning about business, and a lot of those things that I'm reading is going in. I have a tab for quotes that I like, things that I've learned that I don't want to forget. I'm writing them down, and I think that's just a really cool habit to have, to always be trying to improve, and always trying to learn, and that's something I want to instill in my kids. So I'm setting the example to my kids. I'm trying to become a better human being. I'm trying to become smarter. I'm trying to always learn and improve, and these journals are a great way to do that and hold yourself accountable to doing that. So highly recommend. If you don't journal, it's very therapeutic. You should try it. And it's not a very expensive thing to do. These kind of notebooks are less than $20, depending on the size, and it could be as cheap or expensive as you want, but it's a really awesome way to remember things. Like I said, I'm going to put links to all of these journals and seed time down below if you want an easier way to plan your garden for next year. Definitely click that link and check out seed time. But anyway, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you found it helpful. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. Alright? Thanks for watching. See you next time.